Paul Vallas, born and raised in Chicago in the Rosen community, the grandson of Greek American immigrants. I think the biggest concern right now is leadership, that there seems to be a leadership vacuum. And because of the absence of leadership, I believe that the public lacks confidence in the ability of the current administration to address obviously the critical issue of crime, which is impacting all communities, but also the issue of quality schools as well as city affordability. I mean, property taxes have risen by $900 million, despite $6 billion in COVID money to the city and the schools since 2019. So clearly, leadership is front and center, and I believe this election is going to be about leadership. My work history, I've always been a problem solver and a crisis manager. I actually returned to Chicago from Springfield, where I participated in my first governmental work. I worked for the Illinois State Senate, the Senate Democrats, to take over the city budget when the city was in crisis, early in the Daley administration. And we actually, believe it or not, had more murders than we had now, a significantly greater number of murders. And one of the first things I had to tackle as budget director was to determine what was needed to provide the police with the resources and support they needed to get a handle on escalating crime. And we were able to make significant strides in substantially reducing the murder rate and the violent crimes throughout the city. And then, of course, later, when the Chicago public schools were on the verge of bankruptcy and Mayor Daley got control of the schools, I obviously took over the schools that were in crisis, and 6 years later, we were a national model, and we had rising enrollment. So my skills, as well as my track record, gives me the credentials to, become mayor and to assemble the type of leadership team that will allow the city to very quickly get a handle on its most critical issues, which, of course, is crime, schools, and affordability. Yes, we had a beloved lab, Jax, and he passed away. So we have not found a replacement. I don't think Jax will ever be replaced. But I come from a family of 6 veterans, 4 first responders, or 4 police officers, including my wife and my 2 sons, 2 firefighters. One of my sons became a firefighter, and 3 teachers. So we're really kind of a family of public servants. I will point out that given the fact that that my family is 100% Greek, we had to open up a restaurant because the Greek gene mandates that we open up a restaurant, that there be at least some restaurant in the family circle. So we actually grew up in the restaurant business. We joked that my dad wanted to spend more time with the family, so we opened the restaurant, so we were working together 7 days a week. When it comes to relaxing, and this is the truth, I believe that over the last 40 years, I can count the times on one hand that I have not ended my evening without watching a movie. So I watch movies practically every night. And it doesn't matter if I get home at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock, I will watch a movie. And believe it or not, having a cup of coffee while I'm watching a movie and then sound asleep. Cannolis. Cannolis, absolutely. Well, let me tell you the neighborhood that I dream about at night. I dream about Roseland. I dream of Palmer Park. I dream of the Menlo campus, now Gwendolyn Brooks. I dream of the Pullman roll houses. And I have always considered Roseland to be a jewel that is deserving of the city's attention like other neighborhoods and communities have received. The diversity of Chicago is its strengths, and you can learn so much about the city, and you can really appreciate the true diversity of the city by visiting the different neighborhoods, participating in the various neighborhood fairs and neighborhood gatherings. And I just think that Chicago's richness is the diversity of its dynamic neighborhoods. Deep dish. Socks. Hancock Building. I intend to make the Red Line my favorite because the investment that the community needs, it's going to be such a significant vehicle for revitalizing those communities. I put mustard on a hot dog. It's great institutions, it's great universities, it's great healthcare, hospital network. I mean, this is a city ready to take off, and it just needs the type of mature, dynamic leadership to make that happen. We are certainly well positioned to tackle such issues like climate change and others. So, Chicago's the future. Chicago's ready. Chicago is ready to take off, and if people are thinking of locating their businesses or moving to Chicago because they want to move to a city that has true diversity and has great institutions, this is the place to be. So I think that would be my message.